I'm going to show you how to get the biggest bang out of whatever amount of money you have to invest, even if it's $0. Seriously, you got $0 to invest. There's a lot in this video for you. $500, even better. That's like most people. You got even more than that. It's a good problem to have. And as a sign of good faith and to get you started on the right foot, if you're just getting into this kind of stuff, I'm going to give you one of the stock picks that my team finds, analyzes, writes up for the subscribers of the newsletter. This is a uranium mining company getting into rare earth metals. But there's so much going on in the world right now that's very negative, and I'll tell you about a few of these things. But that doesn't mean it's a bad time to start investing. It's actually one of the best times I've seen in a while. If you're thinking about when maybe one day I'll get enough money to start investing, I told you, even $0 is things that are going to really help you get on the right path so that you can get the benefits of all the great things that investing well can mean for your life. Right now, you're seeing the inflation on the prices of the shelves. You're seeing the price of gasoline. We're having the first reversal of all these wildly accommodative policies where they're printing money, lowering interest rates. This is the first time we're seeing in a while where it's starting to reverse, and then there's a lot of results from that. And all of this matters. I know that you might just be getting into investing. You're saying, I just want to dip my toes in. This is how it starts. If you want to do it right, I'm going to tell you how to do it right. I'm not going to waste your time or mine. I promise you that. But you have to look at all aspects of things because a lot of the investment decisions you eventually make are going to be based on what's going on in the world around you. Even walking past a retail store that's got a lineup out the door, notice what company that is, what is going on, why does everyone want that product? That might be a great investment. And there's more uncertainty right now, and uncertainty is a horrible thing for the stock market, but if you look at it the right way, it can be actually pointing to where the opportunities actually are. Everyone is leveraged to the extreme. You got $5,000 and your broker says, well, you trade $8,000 worth of stock. So you're borrowing $3,000. Everybody that's got that amount to borrow, almost everybody, is actually maxing it out. Everyone's investing the full $8,000 in this example, not just the $5,000 that they actually have. Low interest rates are part of the problem with this. That's why there's so much debt on all strata of debt. You personally, your neighbor, corporations around you, the federal government, your state government, your municipality, debt is reaching out to the maximum. That means that there's a lot more likelihood that it's going to come back down than get any greater. It cannot get much greater than it is right now. And with interest rates rising, as you're hearing now, that's going to put a lot of pressure on that. And I don't mean to be scaring you. I know this is going to scare a lot of you out of just forget all this investing stuff. It's the opportunity, I'm telling you. What a great time to be starting investing right now, even though a lot of stuff that I talk about, people think I'm a very negative guy. I'm the absolute opposite of that, but I tell you what I'm seeing. And it just so happens that what is happening in the world right now is all very negative, especially financially. Well, not especially. There's way worse things than that. But financially, things are really going in the wrong direction, in my opinion. So at the end of the day, you're probably going to want to hide your money under the mattress. But even that, the money under the mattress is losing value. So where do you go? Where are the safe ports in the storm? For many of you, this is your first time here. My name is Peter Leeds. I'm the small stock specialist. And you ask yourself, why small stocks? Because they produce the greatest returns. And understand that nothing we say in this video at any point is intended as personalized trading advice for you. If you're a subscriber to this YouTube channel, I'm so excited for you to get the next two videos I'm putting together right now. One is about the petrodollar. The other one is an easy way to understand the upcoming retirement crisis. I'm making it super easy because what I want you to do is share it with people who it's going to affect who may not even have a computer. So we'll start at the very bottom. You have $0 to invest. Maybe you want to see if it's fun, if it's something that you want to try to get into. You got $0. Here's what you do. And I always go on about this. Even if you have a lot more, you should do this. But paper trade. I never learned more as an investor, going from scratch to what I learned up to this point. But when I got started, at 14 years old, I lost all my money in about 12 days. And that really brought me on this path where I started paper trading. And there's a ton of, we have an infographic about it. We got lots of videos about it. Paper trading is so simple. Let me show you what. And bear with me for a second. My desk is exactly as messy as you probably expect that it is. You grab a piece of paper. Ignore this is the scrap paper. You grab a piece of paper and a pen. Start with $100,000. That's $100,000 of imaginary money. You say, I'd like to buy that stock. I'll buy $10,000 in IBM. I'll put $4,000 in Tesla. You write it down on the paper. Come back in a couple of days. Come back in a week and see what's happening. Are you making money? You're going to learn so much more, especially if you only had, say, $500 to invest. You'd buy 1 or 2 stocks at most, probably. But with $100,000 imaginary money, you're going to be a lot more active. You're going to invest in a lot more stocks. You're going to look at a lot more stuff. Your learning curve will go logarithmic. You'll see stocks that you thought were good, that you thought they'd go up and they go down 5%. And you start saying, well, why did it go down? You start to learn these things. And it's costing you not a single penny, completely risk-free. And you do that for a few weeks, a few months. As long as you do that, the more you do it, even if you have $10,000 to invest, you should still paper trade. The more you do it, the more you're going to learn. And the better of an investor you're going to become. You're going to make all your mistakes on paper rather than in the real market. And of course, you can learn for free by clicking on the computer screen. These videos, for example, my book, Penny Stocks for Dummies, is the best financial writing I've ever done, the 3rd edition. You got to get a copy of that, even borrow it from a friend, get it from the library, whatever. It is absolutely almost a misnomer to call it about penny stocks. These are stocks $5 and under. That's the focus of the book. But it's a great investment book, and a lot of people have said this as well. It's one of the best investment books for the investment strategy, regardless of the value of the stocks, the underlying stocks that you're investing in. And by the way, do me a favor. Every time I do a new edition of the Dummies book, it doesn't count all the reviews that people have written. You guys have written some incredible reviews of Penny Stocks for Dummies. But if you did it on the 1st edition, by the time you get to the 3rd edition, that review is not there anymore. So I went the other day to look at the reviews. There's 2 of them. This is an international bestseller with 2 reviews. I'm sure there's probably even more by now. But do me a favor. If you could write a review on Penny Stocks for Dummies, please go ahead and do that for me. I'd really appreciate it. And you'd be helping people who will read your review, maybe buy the book, and benefit from it. Because if you read the book, you know that they'll benefit from it. And learning is free. Always learn. Learn as much as you can on articles, watching the media, watching YouTube, talking to people that you know who have done well. Don't talk to people who have invested and they're not that good at it. You learn from people who invest really well. And I want to tell you something important here. Understand, when you watch something like CNBC, CNN, you're seeing what the masses are going to do. You're seeing what the masses have done or are doing now. You're seeing what the masses are being told. If you watch a massive program that everybody's watching, Mad Money with Jim Cramer, for example, and he says, everybody buy this stock, what you know then is that everyone's going to be buying that stock. Or if you hear a headline in the media, understand the media doesn't tell you what's going to happen. It doesn't even tell you what is happening. Media is telling you what has happened. I really encourage you to look at things like this because it'll change your investment strategies and your investment approach. If you're seeing an article about such and such stock is going to the moon, is going through the roof, that is really telling you that it has done that. That doesn't mean it's going up. It doesn't mean it's going to go up. And it might very well, but that's part of being an investor. You got to make your own decisions and figure it out. And it's a lot easier than you think. I can promise you that. The difference is a lot of people, most investors lose money. The difference is you've got me in your corner. I've learned this stuff over multiple decades. I've been in business 3 decades now. I know I look young, but I've been around a long, long time. I started investing when I was 14. I started my company in 3rd year university. And whatever most people guess my age is, it's a lot more than that. And my experience level is a lot more than that too. So a big part of this too is just familiarizing yourself with the environment, the universe that you're playing in. People think of investing as that is investing, and I'll put money into a stock, that's investing. A lot of people do that. There's a reason why most investors lose money. But if you do it the right way, and the way to do it the right way is to keep an eye on all of the undulations and facets and tides of the market, you'll suddenly start to spot opportunities. You'll start to see where you should be putting your investment dollars. It's not a diet pill to give you 6-pack abs. It's not the newest exercise machine that's going to change your life. This is putting in a little bit of work for a lot of gain. You could be a very successful investor by doing a lot less work than I had to do to get here. I did the work for you. Now I'm telling you the summary of what I learned so that you have the best advantage. So even if you have $500 to invest rather than zero, all the points I said earlier still apply. Paper trade, familiarize yourself, look at media in the right way. That's the biggest difference because the masses are all being told what to think and what to do. You let them all run off down the crowded path and then you pick your moments. But since we're talking with a few $100s now, you do want to actually invest in stocks. So you have to get a discount broker. A lot of what you can do is get the Robinhood app. That's commission free. If you're paying $10 to buy or sell shares through E-Trade or SureTrade or something like that, you can feel confident they're not going to walk away with their money, or that at least you know that they have tools that you can use and benefit from, or that they have good customer service. And if you want to know about the differences of all the discount brokers, we do have an infographic of a full review of all the discount brokers. It's a bit outdated now, but it's not that different than when we came out with it a couple years ago. And since I'm the small stock specialist, you can probably guess what I'm going to say you could do to turn $500 into a few thousand. That's what everybody wants to know. How do I turn the money I have, even though it's a small amount maybe, how do I turn that into thousands of dollars? You'll get a good idea of some of the things we're thinking when I get into the uranium mining company that we're going to talk about in just a little bit. And I'll put the entire analysis report in the description below so you can see some of the stuff that we're looking into and some of the stuff we're talking about and how we go about talking about it. You read that report, you're going to say, okay, I get it, because here's why. We talk about, here's the reasons that we think this stock will keep on going much higher. But the one thing that most investors don't do, or many investors, they'll look at the stock chart, they'll look at the price of the stock, they want the price to go up, the price is what they're focused on. You need to look even more often than that at the trading volume at the bottom of the chart. When there's a move of 25% and it goes up, 25% goes down 25%, but it did that on very low trading volume, that move almost always reverses. And when the stock price is being driven higher on really strong trading volume, you can know when that drive higher is going to start to slow down as the volume starts to wane day by day. That pressure pushing the stock higher is going to be declining, and therefore as that upward pressure slows, the stock very often tops out and starts coming back down. There's all sorts of stuff that you can learn about this, that if you know this stuff, if you learn it from me, very simply, just by clicking a couple of videos and looking at the screen, you learn this stuff, it's going to make you a much better investor. And you start getting into stop loss orders, which is videos about that too, that are going to really help you. That's the number one thing that's going to make you a better investor instantly. But this video is not about that. That is there for you guys if you want to learn more. Bonus points, go and get into that stuff. It's all about how much do you want this? And I'll tell you that if you do it right, even if you have $500 and you turn it to $750, that's not going to change your life. But that is so addictive and fun as you start to see that, wait a minute, I'm actually doing better than some of these professional investors out there. They might make more money, but they started with more money. You're making a bigger percentage. And I'll tell you what people don't do is they don't do the work. Here's what you got to do because they get intimidated by it. Financial statements. Everyone just rolls their eyes. They're like, I don't understand that stuff. You don't need to understand it. It's so simple. Listen, there's a balance sheet, just tells you what a company owns and owes. And if they own more than they owe, that's a good thing. And if you see that what they own is increasing, what they owe is decreasing, you know it's going in the right direction. And there's the income statement. How much money did they make and what did it cost them to make that money? That's literally the simplest explanation of financial statements you're ever going to hear, and it's all you need to know. So if you really want to put your investment results on steroids, then you get into that kind of stuff and you want to learn it from me. I'll tell it to you in a way you can understand it. And let me tell you something about fear of missing out, because if you haven't been investing, you probably see the headlines. The headlines you see are always talking about what stocks are doing the best, And so you're saying, wow, I'm missing out on all this. I should start to get into investing. But they very often aren't talking about it as much when it's not doing well, unless it's a crash and it's a meaningful enough reason. But you heard about AMC, you heard about GameStop going to the moon. Did you hear about when it came back down? Most people don't talk about that. What I'm going to say about fear of missing out, understand that it's all in your head. It's just thoughts going around in your head. Let me show you something from my limited edition hardcover book. I'm going to share with you a point in this book, Upthinking, that applies to that, fear of missing out. You know how I always talk about uncertainty in the stock market. Chapter 1, Understanding Uncertainty. Uncertainty is an invisible thing, like stress or guilt. Fear of missing out is the same thing. It's all in your head. It's just thoughts rolling around in your head, and that's why you don't need to allow it to control you or get you emotional or make decisions that you shouldn't maybe make. There will always be opportunities you miss out on, and you're going to hear about a few of them in the media. That will always happen for everyone. So don't let it be a negative thing. Let it be something that drives you, that encourages you to start taking the reins and taking control of investing. This stuff can be so fun, guys. I'm serious. It can be so fun. And it can also be so difficult. And most of that difficulty will happen if you're not doing it quite right. And you can continually refine your results, refine how you invest in things, refine the decisions you make. All the information you need is accessible right now on YouTube through my channel. No one else's. One last thing about that book, there's not going to be a print run of any more of that book, but if you want to get the digital copy or the audio copy, it's all available through peterleeds.com, and that is the closest thing you're ever going to get to getting a sale from me on any of my products. I'm a believer in capitalism. I believe in value for value, and it's so important to me that any product I make, whether it's the Peter Leeds Academy, my book, whatever, that it's worth a lot more than I charge for it. And I can uncategorically say that I truly feel that that is the case with anything that I put out and make available for you guys. And if you want to really get into trading stocks and making money in a shorter term time frame, take a look at the Peter Leeds Candlestick Trading Chart course where you see an indicator on the chart. It's all so simple. It's all taught by me digitally online through the course. You take it at your own time, but you'll see a trading pattern on the chart that I tell you about, and it'll have an implication of what does that mean for that stock price going forward. This stuff is so fun, so easy. If you're going to get into it and you don't do it right now, I'm not sure if you are ever going to do it. But no matter what amount of money you have, all of these points apply to learning, paper trading, educating yourself, getting excited about it. Once you get your first victory, you are going to be addicted. So let's get into the stock pick, and we have an educated understanding about how stocks work and how this particular stock will go. This is a uranium mining company. The ticker symbol, if you want to buy it, is UUUU, so 4 U's. And understand that this is not trading advice. I don't know what you should do. I'm just showing you our opinion of this stock. And the full review will be underneath this video, so you can read exactly on your own time what we're thinking about it. But it's Energy Fuels Incorporated, and uranium is their main thing, and they're just now working with 2 other companies to get into rare earth metals. Most rare earth metals are all in China, and they're very important for specific technological uses. That there's not really a substitute for them, but China owns most of it. And so a lot of what the American government is doing now is they're saying we have to have more rare earth metals development here in America, so that it's for security reasons even. But this is a stock that we put out for our subscribers of peterleeds.com. It's gone up already 40% or something like that, but our outlook is even for much higher. Here is exactly where we selected it, and it's more than $5 per share. Most of our stocks that we focus on are $5 per share or less, so technically they are penny stocks. And people think of penny stocks as 5 cents, 10 cent stocks. Any stock that's $4.99, that's a penny stock. But this is one of the selections where it was so compelling that it didn't matter that it was trading already above $5. And we've talked about this stock years ago too. This is the most recent review we did of the stock. It's gone up a bit already, a lot more to go in our opinion. The group's upside potential is looking so attractive at the moment that we couldn't pass it by. As many of our readers already know, we're bullish on uranium miners. And over 2020 and 2021, we've talked about CCJ, CCO, URG, and DNN on our hot list. Look, you know that nuclear energy is going to become a bigger and bigger thing. Uranium is required for a lot of these nuclear power plants. And rare earth metals is also becoming a really important and significant thing right now. And Energy Fuels Incorporated is going to be benefiting from both of these tides at the same time. The company has seen a number of rating upgrades since the beginning of 2021. They've got excellent revenue growth. Again, going back to what I was talking about the income statement. That's where you find that stuff. 25% increase in revenue growth. Quarter after that, a 60% increase in revenue. This stock is going the right way. But the first place I go when I look at any stock is the balance sheet. How much do they own? How much do they owe? And with Energy Fuels, they've got total assets of $233 million versus how much they owe. The liabilities, $32 million. The company has teamed up with Chemours Company and Neo Performance Materials, and a rare earth production and refining supply chain. Very importantly, rare earth metals are a key ingredient in electric vehicles and wind turbines. This is all coming into play with or under the umbrella or under the guise of the green economy. All of these trends are all pushing this stock higher, putting an upward bias on the shares of this stock. According to Reuters, a bipartisan piece of legislation introduced in the U.S. Senate would force defense contractors to stop buying rare earths from China by 2026 and use the Pentagon to create a permanent stockpile of the strategic minerals. All of this is going to be very beneficial for this company. And this is just an example. I'm trying to show you how exciting and fun investing can be. I'm not saying to buy this company. I'm saying that we have opportunities like this again and again and again. That is why the peterleeds.com newsletter is world famous on 6 continents, and it's been around for decades. And I really hope that this helps you get a start with investing, because investing is one way for you to take the power back in an environment where the government, the Federal Reserve, is all just over their skis. They don't know what they're doing, and they're messing up the entire economy. We're losing the petrodollar status next, and after that we will lose the reserve currency status. And that's going to have dramatic and direct effects on you even if you don't invest. So you can either not pay attention to this stuff, or you can pay attention to it, or you can pay attention to it and learn how to do it right by getting someone like myself and my team. I have a full team to help you understand what moves to make. And we don't tell you what you should do. We tell you what our opinion is of what you should do. Right on. Subscribe, because the next video is probably going to be about the petrodollar. And after that, we're going to do the retirement crisis. And if you're subscribed, you get those videos.